a choose your own reality simulation wherever you fall on the political spectrum ideologically. I think it's full spectrum dominance. It's kind of like this common theme we've been discussing on Already Dead, and as far as just, you know, it seems as if there are these manufactured false narratives waiting in the wings, no matter where, again, no matter where you fall on the political spectrum. And I think that is by design, right? It's to make sure that you remain within this false framework of the establishment narrative, wherever you may fall again, once again. And so it never, inevitably, it never really matters when it comes to well, all the conclusions that the vast majority of people tend to come to are within that false framework. So they're never actually critically thinking for themselves and addressing, right? Like what I am consistently focused on is kind of the art of war, right? Know your enemy. And so my ultimate goal is we share a common enemy, brother, no matter where you are on the political spectrum. Is that really not clear and obvious by now? And the idea that, this isn't some sort of like modern serfdom, some type of essentially what David Icke likes to say, the gradual tiptoe toward totalitarianism. I mean, we're on that path. We've been on that path, and it's essentially been, you know, I would say what really has effectively taken place is that what's being ushered in at this very moment. You see the power standing tall behind Trump. As much as I want to remain hopeful and hope for the best at all times, I'm not offering up a black pill. I believe that you can find, liberty and sovereignty as an individual in your own life and try to maximize those qualities as much as you possibly can. And surround yourself with people who are worthwhile, worth spending your time with, that make you a better person, that drive you to, push forward in your life. That's kind of the best way we can kind of cope with the current state of reality in my mind. And as much as I don't like to put it in those terms, I'm very concerned. You see the $500 billion AI infrastructure plan being trotted out by Oracle and Larry Ellison, CIA. That's
And
the
again,
CIA.
this gets into something you sent to me, which is recycled propaganda, which is here we go again, two people that have nothing to do with health. And, and I have my problems with our modern health industry, whether it's the pharmaceuticals or the way we deal with disease. I have major problems with that. But once again, we're having people who aren't doctors trying to tell us what health is. I mean, this Sam, what's his name again, Johnny? Sam
Altman.
Altman
Yeah.
stepping in about vaccines when this guy just got accused of murdering somebody and molesting his sister.
Oh yeah. Dude, Project Stargate though, you guys. So like it's how can we not see the totalitarian technocratic state forming around us, right? I mean, it's like we're ushering it through. It's a means of convenience, and it's something that I kind of like staged that narrative in my DARPA episode because it's very obvious that LifeLog Project is Facebook. I mean, come on. How is anyone under the false impression that this wasn't a pass the keys to your cutout that you manufactured as the persona Zuckerberg, and you pass the keys of this brilliant genius and you pass it into the private sector and you have plausible deniability. No longer it's this intelligence front.
Yeah,
Bullshit.
I want to take a second for a little cautious optimism here. I mean, me and Austin actually got into this recently. I think this makes for good content, though. There's a slight bit of a disagreement. He's a little bit more, he's a little more black pilled on the Trump administration coming in, and I get it. I'm the same page, but there's been a recent development. To me and him were like pretty much neck and neck in the same spot there. But there was a recent development that's caused me to slightly shift, or at least leave a little room open for like I might be wrong on being so doomer. I guess I don't even know if doomer is the right word on Trump, but there was a few things actually. The peace deal, the Gaza peace deal, I really think is a weird signal, especially when the more I looked into it, the more I started to understand the specifics, the political power that the Likud party is losing as a result of it. Like they have essentially gone from having I believe it was like around 67
monopoly on power.
Yeah, they had something like a 67 out of 120 vote count over this. Ben Gvir, their finance minister, ended up leaving and took his votes with them. So now they're
that
at
guy's
62.
the biggest piece of shit on the planet, and he should be fucking strapped down and have 1,000 Palestinians run a train on him. That guy's a piece of shit.
But that result,
tough guy with a gun and bodyguards. I mean, just a tough guy with a gun and bodyguards. Fucking piece of shit.
100%. But that resulted in them having now only, I believe it's like 62 or something like that. So a slim majority. And there's other people threatening that if they don't pick up hostilities after the first phase, they will leave as well, thus causing him to lose a majority. And if you understand Netanyahu's stance, currently he's had to deal with corruption. Like basically the war is kind of what's keeping him afloat.
Yeah.
So them pushing this back. There's a lot that and then you have the TikTok ban, Trump pushing back. I know there's lots of asterisks for all the things here, and that like there's a but and all these. But I really struggle to see this as anything but an L on Israel's side. And so it's like, it makes me wonder what's going on here. Is there some sort of like real boy moment here? Like what? I mean, I get it. It is kind of also this like Iran Contra moment of like, release the hostages, kind of like make us look cool coming in. Exactly. But it just seems like it seems incredibly uncharacteristic of Israel. They are not a giving nation. They are not generous, even to their benefactors, which is what we are. They're a parasitic state upon us.
They really are.
So the idea that this is happening is kind of like, it makes me wonder what's going on there. Are there games behind the scenes that I don't know about? I am unsure, especially when you know that he got $100 million from Miriam Adelson. It's like, is this a strong signal of like your money don't mean shit, bitch? I don't know. It may be. I might be completely wrong, and he just goes back to cradling Zionist balls after this. But that did kind of open my eyes, and make me realize maybe something's going on here. But then he also did label the cartels terrorists, and that freaked me the fuck out.
I have thoughts on that. Well, one thing I'm going to say is he's putting out a lot of stuff right now. Now, listen, I don't trust any politician. I'm a politically nihilist atheist, okay? Atheist, nihilist, anarchist, whatever you want to call it when it comes to politics. I don't trust any of these guys. But again, I'm kind of like Austin. I'm rooting for him because he is kind of the front man to this giant thing that I live in called America, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm rooting for him to succeed. I make no illusions of things that he's done, things he could do. One thing I will tell you is like he has to play a game. He cannot go after the FBI. He can't go after the FBI. He can't go after the cartels. He can't go after the Fed and Israel. That's called the JFK plan, and we all know how that ended, right? So he has to play a little bit of a game. Now, we all are hoping that he plays the game in our favor. It would be nice to have some wins, and I think we've gotten some wins. And maybe again, I every time I start talking positive about Trump, I hear the whispers of Whitney Webb, right?
I know, man. She's right in my ear.
Yeah, I'm very cautious, okay? But I also don't want to be blackpilled because then I don't want to do the show. I'll figure out a way to make money some other way. But, so I'm very cautious. But there are things that I like that he's already talking about. He's talking about, obviously you got Ross Ulrich, or however you pronounce his last name.
Yeah.
He's out. We're excited about that, right? I hope they return his Bitcoin. They're never going to do it, but I hope
those motherfuckers, they seized that shit.
They sold a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, they sold billions.
We were looking on Tower Gang, and there was some sort of tweet of like somebody had just opened a Bitcoin that'd been sitting for like a few decades or something.
Oh my God, stop.
I mean, I don't know if that's a joke tweet or what that was, but I was like, I don't know. I think maybe.
Yeah, I saw that too. I wasn't sure either. Yeah, I hope you know what? I hope it's his, and I hope he's a wealthy man now. Good for him.
Me too, and I hope he
government takes it. Do they sell it? When the government takes
Same.
it, do they sell it or do they hold it?
No, they just hold.
Dude, they cashed in,
right?
brother.
They can sell.
They cashed in.
They sold some
They did
recently.
sell it.
Oh, they did sell it.
Okay,
not bad.
A few weeks ago, they sold a big chunk. Yeah, somebody.
Billions, dude. Yeah. I covered it on the show with Jose actually because they made a pretty penny just before this pardon came down. So I felt like that was by design as well, right? They're going to cash in on him before he sees the light of day. I mean, of course. I mean, what was the point?
I want to throw another little sub note on my cautious optimism thing. I think there's another thing too. This isn't so much. I want to add in that there's a little caveat. This isn't so much a statement of my like thinking Trump is a great, moral good man or whatever, so much as I think that maybe we might be dealing with a new dynamic going forward, and that literally the people in this room, I know it's cheesy when Elon Musk says it, and it kind of makes me want to like not say it, but we are the media. Like the mainstream media is done. They are gone. They are done for. The best chance, the closest thing they have is the Sean Ryans of the world that are clawing for relevance. And like, I mean, I'm sure, I guess, yeah, he has it. But like my point being is there's just a few of those ones in there that we all know kind of glow. And that's really about it. But aside from that, we are the media now. It's going to be a lot harder for them to get away with bullshit. I mean, you have somebody like Trump that has such a huge ego. I really think that is not to, fillet ourselves here. I think we have a big part to play and really are shaping the way things go, because it's like they kind of just can't get away with doing as much bullshit anymore. There's too many voices out there.
It is interesting, and he does have an opportunity to go down as the greatest to ever do it. And we have seen where people have been a puppet, and they've had this moment where I call it the Pinocchio moment, where it's like, I'm a real boy. And they just start to do their own thing, and, they get taken out. Now, in our modern day, we're aware of the game plan. Like when they take out JFK, we were so innocent back then. And that was the beginning of this, what we call the George Bush death cult coming in and taking over. That has been in power ever since Trump's first. And now this administration seems to be a different group of people coming in. Not saying they're better. I'm hoping they're better. I'm hoping they're way better. I already feel like 20 days. You're like, what is it? Like 3 days of Trump is better than 4 fucking years of Joe Biden already? I mean, you can't sit there and go, you don't think it's better. You can't. I mean, there are some fucking wins here to bring us back to common sense. Not saying he's not up to any good, but we have had some wins.
Dude, one day of Trump, and we already got Sieg Heil's back. They're back, baby. We're doing them now.
Not against it. Not against it. Not against it. Sorry.
That was so funny.
The way everybody gets fucking loses it, they just love it, because in reality, it gives them a reason to bitch. Oh man, my life's so good. This guy threw out a Sieg Heil. I'm fighting. The nipples get hard. They're just like.
Did you see him though? He was acting so autistic. He comes out like slamming his head. Like, that was the funniest thing I've ever watched, honestly, in my life, dude.
Yeah. But imagine the money you would have won if you would have bet on that.
Right?
But they do have AOC doing this. What? What? I mean, she's like, I know they're freezing a lot of stuff where people are like, I just want to say to you in the back. They're freezing, but they got her thing. She's going, and then they're just doing that. You're like, I'm sorry, bro. It's
the hand thing. I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, we are people in our community are guilty of doing the same thing, freezing people, holding their hand.
Oh yeah. We won't even do the fake ones, man. I'd rather throw a Heil Hitler on here and get this clipped than throw any kind of throw any eyes, cover an eye.
I really struggle to write this one off. That was a Sieg Heil, dude. I mean, I think maybe he was just being a silly goose, throwing a Sieg Heil out there, meant nothing by it, but I think it was a Sieg Heil.
I also don't care. I don't
care either. I wanted to be a Sieg Heil.
I know, dude. Like, kill all the protected class. That's what I say at this point. If you're okay with calling Muslims terrorists, or you're okay with calling Catholics pedophiles, or Christians nationalists, throw up a Sieg Heil.
Well, also, dude, the ADL is out there tweeting on his behalf, like, hey, give the guy a break.
Well, you don't know how much. You don't know how much Elon gave him after that.
Yeah. Oh God, dude. I'm telling you right now, like, Elon fits the mold of what I view to be like the manufactured persona, the created cutout for the deep state, the intelligence agencies. And I really do truly believe that, as much as it sounds like it's clearly
well, would they have their cutout doing Sieg Heils, do you think?
Brother, I honestly think he's autistic to a certain extent. Like, I truly do.
Really?
Like,
that's what I mean, though.
I tried to say that about these pedos. You all look like I was weird. I'm just telling you, these guys on the spectrum get retarded fast.
Absolutely. And I know what you mean, Johnny. Like, I really understand what you're saying, because again, I'm not like
he's a flawed vessel, I'll say, of that.
Right.
For them. Yeah.
I'm not certain of anything when it comes. Honestly, I really don't. I really don't like speaking in certain terms unless I have like concrete evidence.
Sam Altman is the guy, by the way. If you want that guy, that is Sam Altman. He's
Peter Thiel as well. Peter Thiel as well.
I think looking at Elon as a cutout might be the wrong way to put it. He has incentives that line up with it. So like him looking at it as like he is. Yeah,
but he rose to prominence through what? I mean, State Department.
My point being is like looking at him as a future created. I mean, he could be created, but I think it's a mixture, a confluence.